Ended up on the losing side of the Super Bowl. I would say came up just short, but that was the furthest thing away from coming up just short. As we ended up falling to the Lions 55-36, it is time to go ahead and start advancing forward to the offseason. We'll check out the end of year recap, look at all the award winners, and of course the Super Bowl recap. Even though if you've been watching and you saw the last episode, you already know what happened. Again, the Super Bowl victor is Coach D of the Detroit Lions, 55-36. It was closer than that, but the fourth quarter, that's when he started pulling away. As we went into the fourth quarter, it was a 34-30 ball game, and he ended up scoring a touchdown again, and we couldn't convert, and then he came down and capitalized on that, going up 48-30. Then we came down, scored a touchdown, tried to go for 2-point conversion, didn't work out, and he came down and scored another touchdown to seal it. As you can see, Anthony Richardson ended up winning the MVP. Coach Prime won Coach of the Year. Anthony Richardson, Offensive Player of the Year. Dominic Hampton, outside linebacker, won Defensive Player of the Year, so on and so forth. And taking a peek at the mock draft to see where everybody is projected, we got Barry and Brown projected to go number 1 overall to the Chiefs. That's interesting. Mateo Uyungale projected to go to the Texans. Jordan Tyson projected to go 3 to the Cowboys. Jamad McCoy 4 to the Chargers. Evan Stewart projected to go 5 to the Chiefs. I don't like that because we have him projected. We have him as one of our targets on ours. Reuben Bain Jr. 6 to the Bucks. His projection. Proctor to the Bengals at 7. John Mateer 8 to the Rams. Caleb Tiernan to the Eagles. Cade Klubnik projected to go to the Rams. Spencer Fano to the Dolphins. Peter Woods to the Niners. Pons to the Bears. Drew Aller to the Steelers. Chandler Rivers is projected to go to the Commanders. Kristen Miller is projected to go to the Raiders. Manoa projected to go to the Patriots. Dominic Orange to the Broncos. Garrett Nussmeier projected to go 19 to the Packers. That doesn't surprise me because the user controlling him is a LSU fan. Brian Parker, the second, projected to go to the Cowboys at 20. Isaiah World projected to go 21 to the Jets. Tanner Kozio to the Titans at 22. 23, we have Dante Corleone to the Saints. Logan Jones, 24 to the Colts. Suntarine Perkins projected to go 25 to the Cardinals. J.C. Davis to the Bears at 26. Dylan Thieneman, I think that's how you say it. Dylan Thieneman to the Seahawks. Avion Terrell, 28 to the Bills. Jordan White, 29 to the Browns. Tim Keenan, a third to the Falcons at 30. Then we got Malik Muhammad, 31 to the Browns. And Austin Barber, 32nd to the Lions. So that's what mock draft 4 looks like. And as you can see, it switched up quite a bit from mock draft 3 as they had Uyunglele projected to go number 1. As a matter of fact, mock draft number 1 had him projected to go number 1 to the Chargers. But of course, as the season went on, trades happened, people acquired picks, and so on and so forth. So the mock draft has switched up quite a bit. As you can see, all of these guys is all over the place. The Edelman is projected to go in the top 10, and in mock draft 4, you saw he was projected to go in the 20s. So a lot has switched up. Jordan Tyson on this one in mock draft 1 was projected to go 10 to the Steelers. So a lot has changed. D'Angelo Pons was projected to go 14th to the Saints. But like I said, as the season goes on and you have players that or users that acquire different draft picks from different teams, whether it be other users, whether it be from the computer, and also how these players played, and then also you looking at the positioning of these teams, it has changed throughout the season because of win-loss record and ranking in the standings and so on and so forth. But you see a lot of people that have switched up. Like Spencer Fano here was in mock draft 1 was projected to go 26 to the Falcons, and he's moved up. His stock has moved up a lot since then as of the current mock draft 4. Drew Shelton was projected to go 30th to the Browns in mock draft 1. Then you had Derek Graham projected to go 31st to the Jets, and then Miles Kitselman was projected to go 32nd to to the Seahawks, but the Seahawks don't even have that pick anymore. That was when they had the Seahawks projected to end up being the best team, end up winning a Super Bowl. That was with that projection that they was going to end up winning a Super Bowl. But look at this. Blake Horvath isn't even in mock draft 4, and here he was projected to go 7th to the Steelers. So how the mock draft has changed up so much. Avion Terrell in mock draft 2 was projected to go 12th overall to the Bears. Pons 13th to the Eagles. So it's interesting to sit back and look at all of these mock drafts because I haven't actually had the time throughout the season to actually go and look at some of these mock drafts. I've been so interested in other things like the training, the development, the upgrading, game planning, play sheets, so on and so forth. And that's what I like about Madden more than I like about college football, is that they give you so much more to do on a week-to-week basis in your franchise versus Dynasty. Dynasty, you have scouting, but the scouting is limited. It's only so much you can do with scouting. It's like wash, rinse, repeat with that. But after you're done scouting, it's like, what else are you doing, really? I mean, you can go practice, you can do all these other things, but you don't have like a plethora of stuff like you have on Madden to do at your disposal week to week. So mock draft 3, Mateo Uiagalelei was still projected to go number 1. So that has changed. I think in mock draft 4, when I was looking at it, he fell back to 2nd. So Ruben Bain in this one was projected to go 5th to the Chargers. Caden Proctor was projected to go 7th to the Eagles. A lot changed up. But this one had Cade Klubnik projected to go to the Eagles and Garrett Nussmeier. That is insane. That is insane that they would have them projected with 2 first-round picks to take 2 quarterbacks. That's crazy. That is crazy. EA, y'all might want to work on that. A lot of these people have changed up. This one even has Drew Aller going to the Packers now, which is interesting. I wonder how much of users actually scouting these players weekly goes into the mock drafts and how much that impacts the prediction of these mock drafts. Let's get into some of these retirements. We got a lot of retirements. It looks like we got Calais Campbell. He's walking away. Cam Jordan's retiring as well. So here we go. Here's the official list. So you got Calais Campbell retiring. Jimmy Ward's retiring. Laken Tomlinson's retiring. Danico Autry's retiring. Daquan Jones, he's out of here. Ty Chandler is hanging it up after 4 years. That's insane. That's kind of crazy. I'm not even going to lie to you. That one catches me off guard. But one that doesn't is Harrison Smith, 14 years. Adam Thielen is retiring after 13 years. Then you have Jahad Ward retiring after 10 years. Morgan Cox retiring after 17 long years, but he's a long snapper, so that doesn't surprise me. Tyler Lockett retiring after 11 years. Then you got Cam Hayward retiring after 15 years. Darius Slay. So those are guys that don't surprise you right there. Jonathan Hankins retiring after 13 years. Carlos Washington retiring after 3 years. What is up with that? Is this a matter of they have a low overall and they don't see the field? That's why they're retiring? This is kind of crazy. After 3 years hanging it up? Wow. So Taysom Hill hanging it up after 9 years. Cam Jordan retiring after 15 years. Josh Johnson finally retiring after 17 years. Bobby Wagner hangs it up after 14. Nick Moore, Ronnie Stanley. Geez, like I said, a lot of guys retire. Matthew Stafford. So this makes sense why the Rams are going so heavy on quarterback. I still don't know about mocking them 2 quarterbacks in the first round. That's kind of crazy. But Stafford hanging it up after 17 years. Then you got Tyler Higbee hanging it up as well. That's kind of crazy. Darius Williams, DJ Humphries. A lot of players retire. And here we are with another 3-year retirement. Whoever this guy, whatever his name is, I don't even know, but hanging it up after 3 years is kind of crazy. Travis Kelce hanging it up. I didn't even realize he was on the Panthers. I didn't realize the Chiefs traded him to the Panthers, but he's hanging it up. Joe Flacco was last with the Lions, hanging it up after 18 years. DeAndre Hopkins hanging it up after 13 years. So a lot of people calling it quits. Tyrod Taylor, and a lot of these are a lot of familiar names. Even Thomas Morstead, longtime punter, 17 years. He's hanging it up as well, punting for the Saints as well as the 49ers. Robert Woods, currently a free agent, retiring after 13 years. I guess he's tired of sitting around, waiting around to get a phone call. Lyle Collins retiring after 11 years. And again, these guys that we're going over here, they are currently free agents. So Clyde Edwards-Helaire retiring after 6 years. More and more early retirements. Keyshawn Vaughn, 6-year retiree. Or not 6-year retiree, but retiring after 6 years. So that's going to do it for this episode because we really just spent about 13 minutes siphoning through all the retirees, looking at the end of year recap and award winners. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this episode up. Next episode, we'll more than likely jump into like re-signings and then going into the first phase of free agency in the off season. As always, if you're here for the first time or you're returning and you haven't liked or subscribed already, please do so. Click that notification tab so you can stay up to speed with more of this Jaguars rebuild as well as other Madden 26 content. Again, I appreciate you all for tuning in. That's been my time. Till next time. Peace.